Have you ever looked at someone who's just crushing it in life and thought to yourself, wait a minute, they're not any smarter than me, so what is their secret? Well, today, we're not just going to find that secret. We're going to make it yours.
I mean, think about it. This happens all the time. You see the so-called average person go on to build an empire, while the genius in the room is still stuck perfecting the plan. The difference isn't what's in their brain, it's the mindset they choose to have. And the best part? That mindset? It's a skill. It's something you can actually learn.
And the answer, the entire blueprint, is laid out in this absolute powerhouse of a book. This thing has sold millions and millions of copies for one very simple reason. It just plain works. The core idea is simple. Success isn't about the cards you were dealt in life. It's all about how you decide you're going to play them.
And there it is. That's the secret, right there. It's not about how smart you are. It's about how big you think. You could have the brain of a Ferrari engine, but if your mindset, your thinking, is stuck in first gear, you are going absolutely nowhere.
You see, this is the choice we all have to make, every single day. On one side, you've got the small thinker. They're trapped by today's problems, they only see obstacles, and they're obsessed with what could go wrong. Or you can be the big thinker, the person who lives in the future they're actively building right now, who's completely focused on the possibilities. So let's break down exactly how you build that big thinking mindset, starting with the absolute foundation. The entire skyscraper of your success, it's all built on this one single principle: pure, raw, unshakable belief. And listen, this isn't just about wishing or hoping for the best. No, this is a deep, core-level conviction that you can. The book makes this incredible point that this kind of belief, it acts like a switch. It flips on a power source in your mind that immediately starts figuring out how to get it done. This is the perfect way to think about it. A thermostat doesn't just wish the room was warmer, right? It sets a clear target, and then it regulates the entire system to hit that target. Your belief does the exact same thing for your life. If you set your inner thermostat to average, your mind will find a way to get you average results. But if you set it to extraordinary, your entire being starts to recalibrate to meet that new standard. This isn't some new psychology trick. This is timeless wisdom. The concept of hosnulvan bala, which is thinking positively of God, is built on this exact same foundation. It's this deep faith that you're supported, that good outcomes are not just possible, but they're expected. And that, in turn, gives you the strength and the courage to actually go out and act.
So how do you apply this, right now? First, you have to starve your failure thoughts. I mean, consciously, actively replace them with "I will succeed." Second, you have to stop selling yourself short. The people you look up to, they're just ordinary people who mastered an extraordinary belief in themselves. And finally, you have to dare to dream bigger, because your success can only ever grow to the size of your belief.
Now let's talk about the #1 killer of belief. The author, Schwartz, he calls it a disease. And for good reason. It's contagious, it's debilitating, and you absolutely need a cure.
Excusitis, the failure disease. Oh, we all know this one. It's that little voice in your head that says, "I'm too old," or "I don't have the right connections," or "Now's just not the right time." It is the ultimate excuse for doing nothing, and it is absolutely lethal to your dreams.
I mean, this is just a simple, observable fact of life. The people at the very, very top, they don't waste 1 ounce of energy explaining why they can't do something. They pour all of that energy into figuring out how they can.
So here's the cure, the vaccine for failure. Step 1 is brutal honesty. You have to admit you're making excuses. Stop trying to dress them up as legitimate reasons. Step 2, go study the winners. I guarantee you, if you look at anyone you admire, you'll find a story where they overcame something that you might be using as an excuse. And finally, you have to own it. Your life is not a lottery. Your results come from your actions, period.
And that leads us directly to the antidote. If excusitis is the poison that paralyzes you, then consistent daily action is the cure that sets you free.
This might be the single most important sentence in the entire book. Fear is like a parasite. It lives and thrives in the darkness of indecision. The longer you wait, the bigger and scarier that monster in your head gets. But the moment you act, that instant you take even one small step, you cut off its food supply. Action is the light that makes fear just disappear. And again, this idea is reflected in such profound wisdom. True tawakkul, or trust in God, isn't about sitting back and waiting for a miracle to fall in your lap. It's captured perfectly in the saying, tie your camel first, then trust in God. You have to do your part.
You have to take the action, make the effort, secure the camel, and then have total faith in the outcome.
So what's the game plan? Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's an excuse in disguise. If you don't feel motivated, start anyway. Let the action create the motivation, not the other way around. And that one thing you're terrified of doing, the only way out is through. Do it, and I promise you, you will watch the fear dissolve.
Okay, our final principle is all about protecting everything we've just built. You can have belief, you can destroy excuses, you can take massive action, but if your environment is toxic, it will poison everything from the inside out.
Think of your mind like a garden. You are the gardener. You can't stop weeds from trying to grow, but you absolutely decide what you plant and what you choose to water. If you surround yourself with gossip and doubt and negativity, you will grow a garden full of failure. But if you surround yourself with ambition, with big ideas, and with positive action, you will cultivate success. It's that simple.
Now, let's pull all these principles together and see how they work in the real world. Let me tell you a quick story from the book about a man named Harry.
So the average salesperson in Harry's company was making about $12,000 a year. Not bad, a decent living, but Harry was making $60,000, 5 times more. So what was the deal? Was he 5 times smarter? Did he have some secret territory nobody else had? Was he working 24/7?
The answer to all of that was no. In fact, the company's own records showed he was completely average in intelligence, in aptitude, and in the territory he was given. The only thing that was different, the one variable that mattered,
Was the size of his thinking. He applied every single principle we've just covered. He believed he was worth 5 times more, so he acted like it. He made 0 excuses about his so-called average territory. He took bold, consistent action while everyone else was complaining. And he protected his mind, creating a first-class mental environment. He wasn't a superstar. He was just an ordinary guy with a supersized mindset.
So I'm going to leave you with this. Just for a second, forget all your limitations, forget the reasons why you can't, and answer this question honestly. What is the one big thought you've been shrinking away from? The one goal that actually scares you a little bit because of how much it would change your life? That, right there, is your starting point. Because the magic was never about your talent or your luck, it's always been in the size of your thinking. Now go think bigger.